welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as To Liz For You, TOOLIZZFORYOU.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry and posting as Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram. And I've been posting daily for about 2 weeks because of my finished object.
Mm-hmm.
I have my mother's
Christmas
ornament done.
Very nice.
I don't believe she's intending to put up a tree this year, so I made this so that it can hang on her china cabinet.
Good.
And I think you can see well, first of all, the cross stitch is there, but then you do the after embroidery, which is what brings out the holly berries, the snowman, the pulling of the sled, and really the icicles on the house. And I'm really, really pleased because the one I gave her
last year?
Wasn't last year. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. Obviously, I had not worked on it on a daily basis as I was still working. And it took me months to finish. But I'm really pleased with this. The Instagram shows the different steps and how much I had gotten done day by day. I found that, first of all, I found the center of my scrim. And I actually then went up from there to find the tallest point of the sky, and I tried to work out and down from there, and I found that pretty satisfying because then I had pieces of the picture done so I could look at them. And as I said, I found that pretty good. They want you to use some little light orange wool as the hanger, and I went, no, that's not it. So this is grosgrain ribbon that I have sewn through both the front and the back. So I think it's there for quite some time. I use double stick tape instead of glue.
Good.
So when you fold this top over onto the back, so all of these pieces that are folded, I think you can see this, folded, they're held down with double stick tape that I had gotten from Sailrite. So it's the double stick tape that Richard and I used when we were making the window for the boat. I've had toe intervention, I guess, since we last spoke.
Yes.
I had an ingrown toenail on my left great toe that needed to be dealt with, and this time I decided that I wanted him to.
Has chronically been dealt with.
Oh, yes. I mean,
this was not step one.
No.
Is all I want to.
No. I go back to the podiatrist and have it dealt with, go back to the podiatrist and have it dealt with. And finally, one time at my previous podiatrist, he was on vacation when I went one time, and the covering podiatrist said, you know, you can have this permanently dealt with. There's a solution that you can just put on the nail bed. And so this present podiatrist mentioned that at the beginning, but hadn't followed up. And he didn't realize that I was going in doing surgery in between the times I was seeing him for surgery on the ingrown toenail. So anyway, as usual, he went in, removed the ingrown toenail, loves to show me how much toenail was in my toe. I know how much was there. I was feeling it. I know exactly how much toenail was in there. He's quite proud of himself. But then we also damaged the nail bed. So hopefully it won't grow back. The reason I did that is because we've been working assiduously on the boat, and I think that it will be in much better shape next year. So we're hoping to be able to go up to Maine. I mean, we're hoping to have more wanderlust, and we may have to figure out how to use Zoom and record on Zoom to do these if I'm going to be gone for a couple months at a time. We ought to look at the winds. The winds talk about how to live on a boat away from everybody. Of course, we won't be away from everybody. We're going to be in a dock or a mooring field or a town.
You're not going the way the winds go.
No, you're
not going to Tonga.
No, we're going to Maine.
Yeah.
Maine is in the U.S. I'm well aware of where Maine is. We might get up to Prince Edward Island. That would be fun, but it's still on the East Coast. No, I don't ever expect to leave the East Coast. I mean, the furthest I'll ever get from the East Coast is maybe the Bahamas, because you can make that trip in a day. It's the closest 2 points are 60 miles. And we could do that in a day so that you leave in the sunlight or right at dawn and you get there. So we could do that. But that's as far as I'll ever get. I'm not going to be driving this boat in the dark overnight. It's bad enough.
Not going to do Bermuda?
No, and we're not doing the islands by ourselves either, because I see things in the road when I drive late at night.
Yes, you do.
I don't need to see things on the ocean. But the boat, having driven the boat through the fog, I think we're well set up to deal with adverse conditions. That's not the point. I just like to be at anchor or at a mooring or a dock at night. Yep. That makes my world complete. So anyway, got my mother's Christmas present. Good. Ready to go. The little one's birthday party was yesterday. Today.
It was very small. It does not seem like it was.
But she should have opened. Okay. Presents. We have not heard back from her though. No. We need to order that Christmas present.
We do need to order that present.
So it'll come in time.
We do.
Yes. I have a couple of other things I have to order so they come in time. Anyway. Yes. So that's my finished object.
That's
Passing
good.
On to you.
I have not finished anything. Work has not been overly stressful. We're still in a lull.
Is that good?
Which is good, but at the same time,
you still have that bar.
I do have the bar. The bar is stressful, but it's okay. But I have had some other things happen in my life, so I have not knit all that much in the last week.
Like our friend.
Yes. Yes. My best friend, I had to go to Albany for a day, and then was a bit stressed for the rest of the week.
It was a serious health condition that we have gone up to hold her hand and be a spokesperson when she asks us to. Before we've done this before, and we're happy to do this. She doesn't have much of a backup support system other than
us. So we do it. We're happy to do
Richard.
It. Yes, we are happy to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Ben is happy as well to do it, but it was a lot.
Very stressful. Very stressful.
So yeah. So I finished the hood. I don't know if I showed you all that. I did finish the hood.
Oh, well, I don't remember seeing a finished hood.
Okay, so I finished the hood. That was super exciting. No, I think I actually did that up there. Maybe? I don't remember. And I have started on the bottom.
The hem?
The hem. I have technically gone past the hem of the pattern. And we're just gonna, I think we're just gonna knit for as much yarn as the yarn ball that I'm currently working on has, and then we'll try it on and determine how much longer it needs to really be. But this is also unblocked. Now. I mean, this also isn't, I'm like, don't have it on. I think it'll grow a little bit also being blocked.
Yeah.
It is quite cropped in the pattern. But yeah, I'm really excited. It's a very interesting color because on screen this looks a little
green.
I was going to say like brown yellow, like a dark yellow.
Well, see,
it's
what
kind
it looks
of
like to me is like a light brown here.
But I also think it looks kind of more orangey brown than not. And then also during the daytime, it looks more orange. Oh. So that's fun and different. So I'm working on that. And then the Pengweeno is almost done.
Oh, that's adorable.
So the last thing I have to do is the I-cord that goes all the way around the edge.
Oh, nice.
My question is, do we think this will get us one row all the way around and I-cord?
Yes.
Or do we think that we should use the tan? Because I think the gray. I have more of the tan because I would either do it in the gray or the tan, but I think the gray will be too dark, and I think the tan will keep it light, and I think we want to keep it light because I like the idea of the light blue, but I just don't know that I have enough of it.
Then go with the tan.
Okay, so I will start that
have enough stress
after this. Life. Yeah, exactly. So I have enough, and I realized that the collar, I was supposed to do an extra row on it, but do I care?
Not enough to take
it out. Not enough to take it out. It's still beautiful. It's still going to be a lovely, lovely sweater. So I've taken out most of the waist yarns. I am going to take out this last one right now.
Okay.
And then I will do the I-cord, and then if we're still here, and I might throw it in the wash.
It's wash Sunday.
It's wash
take
Sunday.
out Sunday and wash Sunday.
Yes. And then if not, then I will come back and we will do that another day. And throw it in the wash, and then I will weave all the ends in.
Did you know that the embroidery kits, the cross-stitch embroidery kits that I have, the gold, they use the same numbers on the embroidery floss between their kits. So now I'm saving them.
Oh,
so I will have extra.
Very nice.
Yes. I have extra from the Lakeside Cafe or the Lakeside Lake Como. So I'm putting them together in a project bag so that I have them all together. So and then I also found that the embroidery floss that I got from France does a great job of substituting also.
Oh, very good.
I've used several of those also in finishing up moms, because this kit that I have, which basically came with scrim, embroidery floss, and instructions. That's all that came with it. Nothing is printed on these things. I'm already out of some colors, and I don't quite know why, but it's okay.
Because you're supposed to be able to get 6 of them out of it.
Right. And so far I've gotten 2. So there's 4 more remaining. And I know that with some of the colors I decided to do a full cross stitch instead of a half cross, because it just disappears, and my mother wears glasses. So to have subtle shading on her gift doesn't really make it. So that may be part of it, and that's fine. That's on me. But I do now have several different sources of embroidery floss, and that makes me quite happy.
Good.
This is my...
Yes, your saga that I'm...
Right. Is it Mona?
Mona? I don't remember.
We'll have to look it up. Anyway, here's my neck for my tunic.
Version number
2.
2.
All right, so I decided that the size 1.5 needles and the collar that I was making was going to be too tight to my neck. I'm running hot these days, and it may be a couple years before I get back to a normal temperature range. So I ripped it all out, down to the cast on.
No.
I kept the cast on, so I had the right number of stitches.
Good.
And it was already in a circle. Yes.
Yeah.
So I then went to size 5 needles.
Wow.
So, and I'm putting markers in every 2 inches, because I'm decreasing by 10 stitches every 2 inches.
Okay.
This will get me down to the number of stitches needed to start the body when I get a full 12 inches of neck. So I did 4 inches of size 5, and at 4 inches I changed to size 4s. Okay. So that will give me a little bit of a bell.
Yeah.
On this neck edge, and I'm thinking of carrying the 4s down to within 1 inch of to 11 inches, and then switching to size 3s, so that then the change to size 2s for the body won't be so dramatic.
Yeah.
And I think that that'll also make a nice stand at the collar. So at an inch, it will basically then automatically curl at that inch. Because I will have changed from size 4s down to 3s. Anyway, I'm much happier with the way this neck is looking, because it's a much looser neck. You can see it's going to stand away from me. Now, this neck is different from what's called for in the pattern. What's called for in the pattern is a stockinette stitch neck that grows bigger in the middle, so it's encouraged to fold over that way. But on the person who I saw this on, now whether she made an extra large, and she's not an extra large person, her neck edge was falling off of her, and I'm not that person.
It was beautiful, but not the look you're going for.
Yeah, I'm just not that person. I wanted a more open neck, which is why I went with larger needles. But I do like my necks kind of, to here when I'm making a winter tunic. Summer tunics, sure, down to there, all that's fine. But and I don't intend to be dancing in this, so I don't need an open neck to let the air out. So anyway, I'm quite pleased with this. I have been doing 2 inches a day, so this is 3 days worth of work. And I'm actually now past the 2-inch mark for today. I have I have my progress marker there, so that makes 6 inches to the Starbucks coffee cup that's on,
very nice,
on here. And so I'm going to continue with size 4s, decreasing 10 stitches every 2 inches until I get to length 11 inches. Then I go down to size 3s, and then we'll go into the size 2s for the body, because at that point I'll have 231 stitches on my needles, and that's what I need for the body. So this will be going with me to Thanksgiving. I don't think I'm going to bring another project with me. A friend of ours asked about my projects, and I've got projects. You see that closet over there? I've got all kinds of projects in bags not started over there. So they're potential projects, and obviously so is all this. And then I've got, there are 2 new knitting books downstairs on the coffee table if you want to run down and get them, because there's actually a pattern in one of them that I think I'd be able to combine several of these colors into one tunic. So I'll carry on. And meanwhile, also in the mail, I got this, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And I got it because, not that I think the kids that I will be knitting for actually know Mr. Rogers, but they do have some wonderful classic sweater patterns and quite a reliance on zippers in the sweaters. So I was really intrigued with that. And so they show a picture of Mr. Rogers, and then they show a picture of what the sweater would look like. And they have both adult patterns and kid patterns, but they also have the puppets. And I thought that would be really sweet. And then here's the king and queen and the owl. So I really got it for this kind of the stuffed toys. He's past that, I think.
He is past that, but it's real cute.
So they have a Mr. Rogers onesie. Is this not adorable?
It's very cute.
I would have made that had the book been out then. The book just came out. Then here's the neighborhood trolley blanket. Oh. Look at that. I think that's wonderful. So, what else is in here? Oh, so you can make a Mr. Rogers doll. And you can make a trolley. So I'm very happy having bought this book. Richard looked at it and said, "You need another one of these?" I said, "I don't have another Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood." So you can make a living room stoplight.
That's really cute.
I think I know some people that need that. So anyway, I think it is. They also have mini cardigans so that you can hang them on the trees. Aww. Christmas trees, or make them up for your dolls, so that the child could have a sweater and have one for the dolls or one for the tree. And I just thought it was a very inclusive pattern book, and I loved it. So anyway, I have these linen cotton colors, and add in the gray. So here's gray, and I have black. And I have 2 black, 2 of this multicolor, 1 3/4 of this, and 1 3/4 of this. And I believe there's a pattern in one of these that it would go with. So
I'm thinking we are now on to things we've received
in the mail
this month.
By the way, Katrinkle's holiday calendar has come out. and it has arrived. I'm not starting mine until December.
No, we're not starting till December, but I have them. I brought them.
Very good. So yes.
So now I can make sure you have yours.
Yes. So
we have Interweave Knits, we have Vogue Knitting, and have we gone through Pompom yet?
No, that came.
And we have a Pompom. We have so much.
The issue is interesting because they made it so that it was, what's both genders?
Unisex.
Unisex.
Ooh, though, I do like that.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
This is the Hilma pullover by Amy Blackwell. Just very pretty.
And they have it both on male and female models.
They have it on however you would like to identify. You are represented in this.
Yes.
Which is lovely. That is beautiful.
Isn't it?
It's beautiful. I mean, I guess it's just Fair Isle.
No more than 2 colors per row. So.
And it's in your aesthetic of black and white with a pop of color.
It is. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Black and white pop of color.
I absolutely love it.
And I know you're not a color work person, but I could still see you doing that.
I could too. I could also see you doing double knit with that. And that would make it much more giving.
And then a sistery shawl.
It's very pretty.
It's very pretty. It's made with Farmer's Daughter fibers.
I could see doing this color work in double knit though, and that would get rid of some of the issues that have it being so stiff.
So this is the Welkin cardigan. It has a very cool collar detail that you can see here.
Yes.
And then the Orsound hat.
Which is
very
really
nice.
Eye-catching.
Yeah. Ooh.
And then they come up to Baubles.
A Daguienne by Audrey Borrego. Borrego, thank you. I was stumbling where I didn't need to be. And it has long sleeves, it has short sleeves, it has baubles. It's actually quite lovely, even with the baubles.
I like the long sleeve version.
I do like the long sleeve version.
Although the short sleeve version I think would be very pretty in cotton. I think that would be a nice, one of my cotton wool mixes would be very pretty. And these are gorgeous socks. Demesne
socks. They're just very subtle. They look lovely.
Oh, this.
Okay. And then the Etal cardigan, which is kind of...
It's color block.
Yeah.
See, because it goes all the way around.
And it's got a nice little braid detail around the collar and button band. That is lovely.
It really is pretty.
Ooh, and the
periphery
hat,
and
which is more than which I'm trying to get to because it looks great. The hat's cute, but liniment cardigan. Look at that, y'all. That looks so cool. And again, black, white, color.
White.
Oh, that is phenomenal.
It really is.
Really love the black,
too.
Background one. This is just lovely. It's like super bulky is what it looks like.
It does look that way.
It's it's Aran weight. So it's probably knit up pretty quickly. That's phenomenal. And then we have the Halation shawl, which is garter and color work.
Right. So it's like mirror images with color.
You can see really well there. I also really like the colors they chose for it.
Very muted, very nice.
But like very wearable.
Yes. Yes.
Like you could wear it with a lot of different things.
I think it goes into the pattern.
So then we've got we've got articles.
Discussion about color pink.
Bookmake.
That's kind of
weaving.
Weaving the what are they
bookmarks.
Belt weaving.
Belt weaving. Okay. And then did you hear about
I did. I sent her a note.
Him.
Right. Sorry. Apologize.
Jude of Stranded Dye Works, if you all don't know, lost his father. His father
died
5 weeks 5 weeks.
5 weeks ago, and Mom...
No, Mom died 5 weeks ago. Father died 5 weeks after his mother.
I got the time wrong.
It's okay. So he has lost both of his parents in the span of 5 weeks. So
Christmas elf is gone. Mm-hmm. Very sad.
Stranded elf, yeah.
I sent a note on Instagram.
Yeah. So if you ever have bought from them or from...
Jude is lovely.
Just keep them in your thoughts and their entire family. Yes. I don't know what he is... I cannot imagine.
Quite alone.
But
all I could think of is that I'm glad that he has his own house, because he then has his own sanctuary to go back to. Mm-hmm. If he had still been living with his parents, I think we would have found him on the floor. We still might find him on the floor, but he is at least a little bit more structured around himself from things that he has done. So, you know, he moved to Scotland from the south of England and has made a life up there. And I'm hoping that will sustain him, because Jude is so nice.
And I just feel for him. And if anyone knows him personally, please, reach out. Let any of us in the community know.
Give a hug for me.
I know
we would be there if we could,
or be able to provide something. It's heartbreaking.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm crying thinking about it, because just it's
especially at this time of year.
Yeah. So I really hope that if anyone knows him personally and can provide support, that you are able to, and that he knows that the community
cares.
Truly loved his parents, specifically his mother, who was on his podcast.
Yeah.
And very visible.
But his father was also very supportive. I mean, they had
so
done so much work on their house so that he could do all of the dyeing in the garage, and came up and helped work on our house, because he was also on the podcast, I think, once or twice doing the work.
But yeah, so we hope that Jude knows.
So stoked,
Jude is getting the support that he needs, and just that everyone is aware that that's a thing that has happened in the community.
Yes.
And I was not expecting to bring that up so strongly, but they have an article here in the Pompom Magazine with Lola Johnson of Third Vault Yarns about actually
queer identities and fiber arts.
And there's an entire discussion about pronouns,
which I will fail at constantly.
Which is why you allow me to correct you.
Yep.
So, and then comes the patterns. So, that was a lot heavier than we expected Pom-Pom to be.
Yes.
And now we'll go on to Interweave Knits.
And first is the patterns on the cover. It's called Refined Rustic. It's actually called the Casket Pullover by Laura Barker. And that is nicely, I think, cabled. Yeah, sideways cabled. Almost like a Latvian cable, but large up at the top. I like it because it brings the eye upward. Mm-hmm. Although there is one down at the hem too. I don't know that I would put the one at the hem in. That's just me. I don't need any emphasis on my hips. This is the sweater I'm talking about.
With your gradienting.
The Belt of Venus pullover.
It's a linen stitch.
All of these.
Your cottons.
My cottons. And I think, with kind of a bigger neckline, it's 4 tonals, and these they all go together.
Yeah.
So I think that would be perfect for those 4 colors. Yeah. I didn't expect to use up as much yarn as I did for my friend's shawl. So now that I have much less than I thought I was going to have, I was going, what am I going to do with it? But I think this is a perfect answer. Yeah. I'm quite pleased. So very happy with that.
Oh, look at that.
You
Flip too many?
Flip too many.
Oh, also gorgeous.
Cable-y gorgeousness. Look
Yeah.
at that. Absolutely wonderful. This is Dyson sweater by Maura Engel.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like an Irish cable knit. They call it sumptuous cables intertwining in intricate patterns throughout, and they certainly do.
Yeah.
It would be lovely to play with them.
That's
this is
fun.
the Sonneteer.
I like that.
Let's see if I can get it there. I think it's really pretty. I don't know that I want to be doing that color work. And here's another color work, the Gelid quarter zip pullover. I think this would be really functional.
Yeah.
The zipper, I think that would be a lovely sweater to have.
Yeah.
I mean, it would take me months, but I think that would be great. It also looks like it's only 2 colors per row. I mentioned that because one of the rowing patterns I had was umpty-ump colors per row, and I still haven't figured out how to knit that sweater unless I put it on bobbins. Here is a tunic.
Oh.
Here's a tunic for me, but here I would have to make the collar taller so it would bell out. But look at that.
It looks great.
I think that looks marvelous.
That does look good.
Yes. It's a syncopated rib texture. Yes, I can see the syncopation. The ribs move.
Yeah.
And that would be lovely. Then the faunus hat and fingerless mitts. So a hat and mitts combination. And then we have a St. Gallen cowl. St. Gallen, Switzerland is the birthplace of dotted Swiss fabrics. So guess what? A dotted Swiss cowl. How interesting. My mind is still back on the previous sweater. That is a beautiful zip. All right, do we have any more pictures? I think.
No, I think
that is it.
Now it's just patterns.
Now it's just patterns. All right.
Okay, and then for Vogue Knitting, we have a beautiful
cover
sweater. We've got some ads for Delaque and some other things.
Delaque I have found to be very nice. I used her knitting needle holders for quite a long time until I kind of went past it. I had so many. Moving the needle. Oh, latest obsession.
These are, there's an article about, there's a dyeing kit, there's a twist knitting mill to create I-cords. There's a Knitterate, which is a digital knitting machine that knits socks, scarves, and other accessories effortlessly, which I'm a little confused by, but I guess I'll look into it later. Then there is the tiny Smart Tech mini sewing machine, which is perfect for on the go and ideal for speedy alterations, which is so cute. And then Indigo Dragonfly has some dye that are great because there are a bunch of patterns that rely on random number generation, and rolling a die will perfectly solve that. So that's the Knitterate machine. That's the mini sewing machine. The I-cord maker, dice. Oh, and then there's the loom.
By whom?
It's Shocked Baby Wolf.
Ah.
Then there's a discussion on mitten masterpieces.
And they're beautiful.
And the yarn, some yarn suggestions for that.
Look very Norse, Swedish type of things.
Then a whole bunch of discussion on books. Meg Swanson has her article on mittens as well.
It's getting to be that season. It didn't get above 36 degrees all day today here in East Meadow.
Nope. And it is currently 30 degrees, and it is chilly.
Very windy. Very, very windy.
There's an interview with Stephen West.
I like that sweater, too.
It's a Webs ad. It has a lovely little split sweater.
Yes.
Then we have a Knit Your Way Through Norway discussion of a proposed tour. I believe this is the actual itinerary that the Nordic Adventure for Vogue Knitting International Tours did.
Yes.
Then there's an interview with Tom Daly, the Olympic diver. who does, I don't know if
he's a knitter.
He is a knitter, I know that, but I don't know if he has his, own designs or if he's predominantly worked with other
patterns
designers, to create what he has. I haven't read that article yet, so I don't know.
There is a company called Craft Cruises, by the way, and they have multiple cruises during the year that are knitting based. Oh. So somewhere I was reading about someone was going to be supporting or being highlighted on, I think maybe Martina Baim, I'm not sure, on a craft cruise. It was going up Norway, up into the Arctic Circle and back. I asked your father if he wanted to go. He said no. But anyway, sometime if you and I want to go, there's craft cruises at least one a month. Oh.
So then we've got the patterns. This is the Forgotten Estate. Once grand rooms stood unoccupied, gardens untended, while the spirits of the past lingered in the shadows. So we've got the cover sweater, which is beautiful. And it's called the Blue Moon Trilogy. The Parker with the checkerboard snowflakes. I do like the one on the back cover. I like
very old England country house.
Yeah. And then we have the La Fonda, which is a cowl, I believe, which is beautiful.
Yes, it is.
And then we have Caesar, which is a pair of mittens.
Absolutely gorgeous. My mother loves blue and white, so she would love those.
And then we have Equinox and Sally, which is a pair of mittens and then a vest.
That's I like the mittens. Cute. I mean, you like the vest. Well, good. You like something on each page.
And then this is a cardigan called Jekyll, which is really lovely. I like the little sleeve detail.
It's really very pretty, I think, and because I like almost anything that has the eye going towards your mouth.
And then we've got a cozy up section. So that's the end of that themed section. Now we have cozy up, cocoon in barely their color and simple textures. So we've got snow and cover, which is a hooded cowl.
Well, your father was so funny. The other day I had my, oh gosh, it's the scarf.
The snood?
Yes, the snood. And he goes, is that hat connected to your scarf? I said, yes, and has been for several years. So.
Then we have the Banby, which is a beautiful cabled
and open work
and lattice work sweater.
I think that's really nice.
Yeah.
That would make a nice tunic too.
It already is a tunic length.
Well,
you would make it longer.
I would make it a little longer.
And then we have the Stitch Cinematique, which is a tribute to Wes Anderson. So you've got Darjeeling and Petite Darjeeling for the kiddos.
Very cute.
With a little peplum detail. Budapest, which is a hat. Chevalier, which is a cardigan.
Yes. Very interesting looking cardigan. Also with, they're not baubles.
They look like flowers almost.
Yes, they do. But
they're like half baubles.
Yes, in a stitched design.
Yeah. Rushmore, which is a chunky scarf.
With cables.
With cables. And then we have Moonrise A and Moonrise B for Moonrise Kingdom with some cables and some color blocking. And then Zizu, which is color work and phenomenal.
I really like it.
It's so playful and lovely. And it's in Tarja.
Yes.
And then this is Retro Sport. Get ready to move. Modern pieces imbued with a 1970s vibe.
Yes.
So we got a beautiful striped, simple
Speedway.
And then we've got this Glide, which is a granny square cardigan, which actually is quite lovely.
Yeah, it's actually coordinated quite well.
Yeah. Then we've got Telemark, which is really lovely.
It looks like a Mondrian painting.
Yeah. And then we've got Mogul, which is a textured sweater.
That Mondrian is pretty. If you
Yeah.
did it in white with some of the colors,
Yeah.
you could really... It would be interesting.
And then it's a discussion on color substitutions and color in your knitting. And then it's the patterns.
So when you substitute colors, go back to that.
Oh.
You want to think about how much the colors need to shout out. So flip it up. So the blue and white has a lot of contrast, but some of these others don't have quite the same level of contrast. So you want to think about how much do you want the colors to shout out, or how much do you want them to be muted. So for example, this is more muted in my eyes than that one is. So you want to think about those you may want to consider those kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But meanwhile,
yeah,
I'm hoping that your Christmas crafting has come apace.
Holiday crafting in general.
Yes, holiday crafting in general has come apace because those holidays are going to be quickly upon us.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you've been successful in what you've attempted. That's important, to have a feeling of success. I'm quite happy to be back working on something for me, having been working on sweaters for others for several months now. Anyway, a friend of ours was talking about we should talk about all my projects, my whips. My whips are surrounding me down at the sofa. Mm-hmm. There may be...
You seem to be focused on this. You've mentioned this in the last, 3...
Well, that's because they seem to be growing down there.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to figure out. I was like, yes, we have addressed this.
No, it seems to be growing. So
okay.
anyway, I'm hoping to focus on one or two of them.
Okay.
Get them done, and then diminish the amount of stuff that's at my feet down there, because it's all around my feet.
Okay.
Yes.
Good thoughts.
That's
good
a
thoughts.
plan.
Yeah.
Now that we've gotten the holiday gifting out of the way. Yes. So I've been picking up the things. I've wrapped presents. I've done all kinds of stuff. So yes. So anything else? You ready to weave in?
I think we're ready to weave in some
By the way, enjoy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating.
Yes.
We're going to be driving on Tuesday. You're driving on Wednesday. We're coming back on Saturday. You're coming back on...
Don't know yet.
God knows when. So we probably will not record next week.
Or the week after.
Or what are we doing the week after?
Aren't you
That's
away?
That's right. We're away. We're hiking.
I love it. She's going away, doesn't remember, and I remember.
Yes, we're going out to Sedona, Arizona with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. Yeah. And it'll be great. It'll be hike a day. For me, hike a day, rest a day, hike a day, rest a day. So I may bring 2 of my knitting projects with me.
Oh, look at that.
Yes. But I'm excited about it. We did get a 4-wheel drive Jeep.
Good.
My sister-in-law said that she doesn't plan to go off-road except to get to the trailhead, and I said that's fine with me, because if
the boys can go and do
the
others.
boys can do the off-roading, and if I end up in the car and they're planning to go off-road, I will get out of the car, because I'm not going through that again.
Which is valid.
Yes. So anyway, I hope you have a nice start of a holiday season. I hope your Thanksgiving, if you celebrate it, is warm and wonderful. And we will see you when we get back together. Yes?
Yes.
Bye.
Weave in those ends and we'll talk to you later. Bye, y'all.